Okay, let's dive in. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got quite the collection of AI and tech news here from the past week or so, what we're calling the Retter Reboot 10 OCT rundown. And our mission today, well, it's pretty simple. Give you the fast track, the shortcut to understanding the really big moves happening in AI right now. Because this week, it wasn't just, small updates. It feels like a foundational shift. AI seems to be moving from just being a tool, an app you open, towards becoming, well, a full operating system that can run your whole digital life. We're tracking that race. Who's going to own that layer?
Yeah, it's fascinating. The sheer volume of news, when you put it all together,
Yeah.
really points to one main thing. The major players, they're not just tweaking conversational models anymore. They are actively building autonomous AI agents, platforms designed for, frankly, system dominance. This battle to be the AI operating system, the AI OS, it's not just starting. It feels like it's hitting warp speed.
Okay, let's jump right into that fight then. OpenAI versus Google. OpenAI seems to have gone incredibly aggressive on this platform idea. They launched specialized apps inside ChatGPT itself. So for you, the user, that chatbot window you're used to, it's not just for typing questions anymore. It's becoming like a central launch pad. Tools for shopping, booking, travel, even complex stuff like data analysis or coding. It really feels like they're turning that chat interface into one single integrated digital dashboard.
That's exactly it. That's the concrete proof of the platform shift we've been watching.
Yeah.
And if you look at what Nick Turley, OpenAI's product lead, is saying, he's very explicit about the goal. Make ChatGPT the central hub for apps, for agents, for automation. They're not just selling you a smarter chatbot, they're selling the whole environment. The idea is for users, and importantly developers, to build directly on top of ChatGPT, basically positioning it as, well, his words, an AI operating system for agents, reshaping how we do things digitally.
Right, and to make that happen, it wasn't just the apps. They also dropped Agent Kit. That sounds like a pretty big deal for developers.
Well, what
It's
is it
a-
exactly? It's huge. Think of it as a new framework, like a toolkit. It gives developers the APIs, the templates, the building blocks they need to build, customize, and then deploy these more sophisticated AI agents you mentioned.
So Agent Kit is kind of the glue holding this vision together.
Exactly. It's the infrastructure glue. It's what takes you from asking an LLM a simple question to building a custom AI agent. An agent that can handle, say, a multi-step process like monitoring competitor prices online, then drafting a marketing email based on those prices, and maybe even scheduling the email send automatically. Agent Kit gives developers the tools to build that kind of agentic ecosystem for real-world stuff, customer service, complex e-commerce tasks, you name it.
Okay, so OpenAI is building this OS from the inside, sort of creating this walled garden around the chat window. But Google seems to be attacking this from a completely different angle, maybe even a bit scarier.
It's definitely different. They're reportedly developing a new AI model that can autonomously control actual web browsers and mobile apps.
Wait, hang on. Autonomously control browsers. We've heard about assistants, but what's that really mean for someone using it?
Yeah, it's a big leap past just a smart assistant that answers questions or sets timers. We're talking about agents designed to actually do complex digital tasks across different websites and apps. Things outside Google's own ecosystem. Imagine telling an agent, hey, book me a flight to New York for next Tuesday. Make sure you use my reward miles. And oh, could you also pre-fill that complicated visa application on the government website? And the agent, it just does it. Navigates those third-party sites, logs in, fills out the forms, checks the data, completes the booking. No human clicking required.
Oh.
It really blurs that line between searching for information and actually taking action online. It confirms that shift we're seeing away from passive conversational AI towards AI that takes autonomous, sometimes high-stakes, action across the web.
Okay, that kind of capability, that level of autonomy, must require just incredible computational power. Which brings us neatly to the next piece, the money and the infrastructure wars. You can't build an OS to run the world without, well, billions behind you.
Precisely.
Speaking of billions, Elon Musk's XAI. News broke they secured a staggering $20 billion in new capital. Now, they're apparently avoiding calling it a traditional funding round, but still, that's serious cash, earmarked specifically to scale up their Grok models and, put real pressure on OpenAI, Google, Anthropic.
But here's a question. Can money alone catch them up, especially given the platform and data advantages the big guys already have?
That is quite literally the multi-billion-dollar question. Money buys you talent, definitely. And maybe more crucially right now, it buys you access to chips, GPUs. But any huge capital injection like this, whether it's XAI or someone else, immediately raises those red flags about market power. I mean, look at the incumbents. OpenAI is expanding its chip deals, not just NVIDIA anymore, but AMD too. And that concentration is making regulators and investors, frankly, pretty nervous.
Globally.
Why nervous? Just because they're big deals.
It's the concentration risk. You have a tiny handful of companies potentially cornering the market on the essential hardware the GPUs needed for almost all advanced AI development. That creates huge pricing risks down the line and serious supply chain vulnerabilities. If just a few companies control the chips, they effectively control the pace and direction of the whole industry, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you talk infrastructure, you inevitably have to talk Microsoft.
Yeah.
Satya Nadella, their CEO, was out emphasizing Microsoft's data center advantage, basically saying, hey, we already built the highway system for this.
Exactly.
He stressed Microsoft runs one of the world's most advanced AI infrastructure networks, underscoring their dominance in the AI cloud race and obviously their key role as OpenAI's major partner.
It's a subtle flex, but a powerful one. Microsoft doesn't just host OpenAI. Their massive global data center footprint gives them a huge operational edge in actually scaling and deploying these enormous AI models efficiently. They provide the raw power.
But it's not all just these giants building closed ecosystems, is it?
No, and that's important. Not everyone is signing up for these closed, giant-owned platforms. We saw a startup, Reflection, raise a really notable $2 billion. And their stated goal is explicit: become America's open frontier AI lab.
Open frontier. So the capital isn't just for building better models.
It's strategic. It's positioned as a direct countermove against that concentration of power we were just talking about.
Interesting. So their aim is transparency, open competition.
Exactly. Developing open high-performance AI models, competing head-on with major international players like China's DeepSeek is part of the mission too, but critically doing it without relying on the closed systems and the proprietary data hoards controlled by, say, Google or OpenAI.
So the platform war ties directly back to the chip supply chain,
Huh?
control of the cloud infrastructure, and just having these immense amounts of capital.
Absolutely. It's fundamentally an infrastructure war, just disguised as a software race. The money proves, the market believes in it, the chips determine how fast it happens.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. We've talked about the giants fighting over servers and chips. What does this actually mean for, us, for consumers, for merchants? What are they spending all this cash to build that we might actually use soon?
Good question. Let's look at media first. OpenAI seems to be making a serious play in the entertainment space. Their AI video creation app, Sora. Apparently, it hit 1 million downloads faster than even the original ChatGPT mobile app did.
Wow, faster than ChatGPT. That's saying something.
It really is, and that speed suggests a big shift in how people want to create and share content. Sora's isn't just about making, funny little clips. It's enabling AI-powered creation and sharing at a potentially massive scale. OpenAI looks like they're aiming to own a piece of the next generation of entertainment and media platforms. It shows this AIOS idea isn't just for work, it's for culture, too.
And what about shopping? E-commerce.
Google's pushing hard there, too. They expanded their AI-powered virtual try-on tool. It's in more countries now. And interestingly, they added the ability to virtually try on shoes, not just clothes.
Shoes. Why is that detail significant? Virtual try-on isn't totally new.
It's actually a pretty good technical indicator. Showing how clothes drape is one challenge.
Yeah.
But realistically, rendering the complex shapes, textures, and physics of footwear, how leather creases, how laces look, the shadows on different sole materials, that requires a much more sophisticated generative AI model to look convincing.
Okay. So it shows their underlying tech is getting better.
Exactly. And it strengthens Google's play in personalized, AI-driven retail. Plus, there's a direct business benefit, helping reduce returns, which is a huge cost for online retailers.
Right. And for the businesses actually selling things, the smaller merchants maybe.
Square had a couple of interesting updates there. First, they rolled out AI-powered voice ordering. Customers can place or change orders just by talking naturally.
Like instead of tapping through menus.
Yeah. The AI isn't just following a script. It can understand complex requests. Things like, can I get the burger, but hold the onions, swap the fries for a salad, and actually make that extra cheese.
Okay, that could genuinely speed things up.
It streamlines the whole ordering process, potentially improving speed, accuracy, and maybe even upselling. And second, Square also integrated a Bitcoin payment option for their merchants, making crypto transactions smoother on the back end.
So AI is touching everything from media creation to ordering lunch to how merchants get paid.
Pretty much integrating into the fabric of commerce.
Okay, one last big area where the really big money flows. the enterprise battlefield. And this was kind of stunning. Google and Amazon Web Services, AWS, unveiled competing enterprise AI products literally on the same day.
Yeah, that timing wasn't accidental. It just screamed how intense the competition is to capture the corporate market. That's where trillions in IT spending happens.
So what did they actually launch?
Google pushed out updates to its Gemini AI suite. They're focusing on customizable, secure, scalable models for businesses, especially those dealing with huge amounts of their own private data.
And AWS.
AWS countered immediately. New integrations for Bedrock, that's their platform for building generative AI apps, and new AI agent tools specifically aimed at developers working within AWS.
Making it easier for companies already using AWS to build their own internal AI tools.
Precisely. They're not just selling off-the-shelf AI software, they're selling the fundamental building blocks for the next generation of corporate IT. Both giants are desperately vying for that massive enterprise market. It proves this whole AIOS shift isn't just a consumer trend, it's a fundamental rewiring of the corporate world too.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up, synthesizing this incredibly fast-paced week.
Yeah, it's a lot, but the core theme is clear. The entire ecosystem is shifting, and shifting fast. We're moving beyond just having smarter language models. We're seeing the construction of complex platforms and autonomous agents. It really feels like the birth of this AIOS.
And that requires...
It requires huge money, massive amounts of chips, and very centralized infrastructure, which naturally fuels that concentration of power among a few tech giants. Even though, as we saw with Reflection, ambitious open-source efforts are managing to secure serious funding to try and keep things competitive.
So the announcements weren't just feature updates. They were fundamentally about platform building.
Exactly. The race to become the central hub for our digital lives is on, and it's forcing everyone, users, developers, businesses, to start thinking about which ecosystem they want to operate within.
So let's bring it back to you, the listener. What does all this platform building, this talk of an AIOS, mean right now? The key takeaway isn't just the list of announcements themselves. It's the underlying change in function that we saw across the board this week. When AI stops being just a tool you consciously open and use and starts becoming the sort of invisible infrastructure that handles more and more of your digital life, optimizing your shopping, maybe running work processes, all within one single action-taking interface.
It's not really an app anymore, is it?
Exactly. It becomes the environment itself. So here's the question to maybe think about this week. If the ultimate goal is for AI to become this seamless operating system handling everything digital, how long will it be before we stop calling these things apps or agents and just realize we're living inside the AI ecosystem? Something to chew on. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.